Pensioners across the United Kingdom, particularly those aged 65 and over, are being urged to open their post and read every letter coming from the Department for Work and Pensions with immediate care. A large-scale administrative review is now underway, and thousands of official letters have already been posted in the final weeks of June 2025 letters that could determine whether older people receive everything they're entitled to or lose out on up to £4,200 in pension income and related benefits. This is not a generic government communication. These letters, labelled with a DWP return address and often marked as important action required, are directly linked to a live effort to verify inconsistencies in pension records, update incomplete national insurance contribution histories, and assess potential shortfalls in past payments. The issue is complex, but the stakes are simple. If you don't read, respond and follow through, you may never receive what you're owed. The background to this situation dates back more than a decade. Between 1978 and 2010, carers, often women, were entitled to receive home responsibilities protection, a credit added to their national insurance record if they were looking after children under the age of 16 or vulnerable adults. In theory, this was meant to protect the pension rights of people who stepped away from full-time work for family reasons. But in practice, thousands of people never had these credits properly applied. The transfer of HRP data from the child benefit system into the national insurance system was riddled with administrative failures, mislabeled records, and countless gaps, especially for people who moved, changed their surname, or didn't claim child benefit in their own name. Now, as a result of mounting public pressure and media scrutiny, the DWP has begun issuing personalized alerts to individuals whose files show potential errors or omissions. These aren't warnings about future changes, they are investigations into the past. The letters include specific requests for documentation, such as copies of old child benefit awards, carer letters, or even handwritten declarations of caregiving responsibilities. And they often include a tight response deadline, 30 calendar days from the date on the letter. Miss the deadline, and you may be removed from the review cycle entirely. Worse, if you throw away the letter, assuming it's just another pension leaflet, the system may automatically assume you've declined to participate, which could close the door on any future recalculations. Already, pension support lines are reporting long call wait times from recipients who binned the letter by mistake and are now trying to request a second copy. For those who do respond, however, the reward can be life-changing. According to government estimates released on the 22nd of June 2025, more than 175,000 pensioners have already been identified as being underpaid due to historical national insurance record errors. The average correction value is £74 per month, which equates to £888 per year, or more than £4,200 over a 5-year period. That's just the average. Some are receiving over £10,000 in back payments, particularly individuals whose entire HRP credits were missed over several years. The payments are non-taxable and are often deposited in a single lump sum, followed by a corrected monthly amount moving forward. But none of it happens automatically. Every successful correction starts with someone reading the letter, filling in the form, and submitting the evidence. It sounds simple, but many pensioners, understandably overwhelmed by bureaucracy or assuming their pension is final, aren't taking the necessary steps. And it's not just HRP credits at stake. The review also covers missed voluntary contributions, errors in contracted out years, and migrated data from the pre-2016 basic state pension to the new state pension. For instance, someone who worked part-time in the 1980s or 1990s may discover that their employment didn't reach the lower earnings limit needed for a qualifying year. But if that same person was receiving child benefit or caring for someone full-time they were supposed to be awarded credits. In many cases, they never were. Others are discovering that their contribution history includes unexplained gaps for years when they were actually employed or self-employed, but were paying into outdated schemes. These gaps, often overlooked, can significantly reduce the final pension award, especially for those hovering just below the 35 qualifying years required for the full new state pension. For pensioners living overseas, the letters may take longer to arrive or may not arrive at all. In such cases, individuals are being encouraged to log in to their gov.uk pension portal, request a national insurance contribution statement, and manually check for missing years or irregularities. If you spot anything strange a year, marked as incomplete, when you were definitely working or caring, you can raise a formal inquiry. There is no cost for this, but there is a cost for ignoring it. Once your case falls outside the DWP's active review period, the department is under no obligation to revisit or recalculate. That's why acting now, while the nationwide recalculations are live, is so crucial. For those still unsure, there are immediate signs to look for. If your weekly state pension is below £233.80 per week, the full new state pension as of July 2025, ask yourself why. Did you work or care for family for at least 35 years? Did you receive child benefit in your own name? Did you ever take time out of paid employment but still care for someone? These are the critical questions. If the answer to any of them is yes, you may be one of the people affected. The DWP is not yet contacting everyone, only those whose files already show some red flags. But if your file was never flagged, the problem may still exist, buried in unprocessed archives or mismatched HMRC data. You do not need a letter to initiate a request. But if you did receive one and you have not responded, you may be on the verge of losing the opportunity to fix what could be a serious financial injustice. Time is of the essence. Some deadlines listed on the letters are as soon as the 20th of July, depending on when the communication was issued. Others have an automatic 30-day response window, and after that, the file is either closed or moved to a no-contact category. There is still room to act, but not forever. If you believe you or someone in your family may be affected, contact the DWP, request a review, or speak to a pensions advisor. Age UK Citizens Advice and several regional charities are also offering help in navigating the process. You are not alone, but you do need to start. The government has stated that they want to correct these injustices, but the responsibility to flag, confirm, and correct lies squarely with the individual. It's not fair, but it is reality. And if you're over 65, you have paid into this system for most of your life. You've earned every single pound. Don't let paperwork or a missed letter be the reason you lose out.